What is up, guys? Hazy M's here. Tonight, wherever you're at in the world, we're going to be talking about Titan Quest 2. Now, this video I'm going to be going over, or I have a few different areas I want to talk about in this video. I'm not going to go over the whole 40 minutes. That's just way too long. I know your time is very valuable. So, Titan Quest 2 is an ARPG that is going to release hopefully here in the near future. Hopefully sooner than later. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it has a lot of promise. I think there's a lot of potential for it to be a great ARPG. I know people really love Titan Quest. The first one, I personally didn't play a whole lot of Titan Quest when it first came out. I jumped back into it, or I should say I tried to jump back into it when I bought I think it was like the anniversary edition of Titan Quest. I played maybe 2-3 hours. It was okay. But Titan Quest 2 is looking really good, looking very promising. So straight off the bat, we're just going to be talking about items. So as we look here, I think these are, shoulders. I believe in Titan Quest 2 you have 2 shoulder slots. So each shoulder, I believe, you can slot. I mean, it looks like your pretty basic stats for items, right? 41 armor, has strike armor and pierce armor. That's a little different. To me at least. Medium plus 12% recovery speed. Okay. Then it has 9 cold resistance plus 6% increased attack speed, 8% poison resistance. Alright. And then this item over here, increased fire and cold, increased poison damage, strike damage, increased strike and pierce damage. 24% dodge recovery speed. Okay, so it looks like there's light armor, medium armor, and then I'm assuming heavy armor. These are yellows. So I think, rare items.
Attend in person, and that's, I think, totally fine. It is far for some of you after all. But we have leveled up, and it's time to talk a little bit about those masteries. So we still have...
Okay, so here they're going to be going over kind of like the masteries and the skills a little bit. Masteries honestly kind of reminds me of the way they did skills in Diablo 3, where you kind of had different runes you could place to upgrade that specific skill. Let's see what they have to say about the masteries.
The whole thing of combining 2 masteries to form your own class. We don't just give you a class. So it's classic Titan Quest stuff. We have active skills as well as passive skills. Of course, what you see here in terms of the size of the skill tree is drastically cut down for the Gamescom demo specifically, so that players with their limited time sessions over there could just get into it and figure out what's going on within the skills. So these are the modifiers that you can slot in, which will cost some capacity slots, which then you unlock with your active points. So if I want to modify my leap slam now to do more stuff, such as also do a stun, then I can assign this, but that will take 2 of these slots. However, if I take it out, I gain those back, and I can do this anytime. I could assign the rage gain, which is also a really nice modifier, and well, we need to somehow make use of that rage, right? It's just a status effect. We've got this onslaught on the primary weapon attack, and I have some more points available over there. So why don't we just get that, put it on, and then it can work in tandem with our frost explosion, which essentially converts some of our damage to cold, and then causes some explosions when enemies get frozen, which we can very easily do with our Frost Nova as well, Ice Nova, sorry. And the Onslaught, as we gain Rage from every attack, as well as our Leap Slam, will be increasing our attack speed. So we're going to be attacking pretty quickly. We also have Overwhelm, which is also a status effect gained by the primary attack. Up to 3 stacks can be had, and then you consume it essentially with your Stomp. The Stomp already stuns, so it's pretty useful, but Overwhelm makes it do more damage and in a larger radius. So let me quickly show you. We're going to build up the 3 stacks of Overwhelm here, and then consume it with a giant Stomp. But once this cooldown is over, we'll be able to see how much smaller the regular one is. There you go. Giant size difference. And we also have some passive points, which
I
will be
mean, I
wanted to
wouldn't
spend
say
here.
it
Now,
was
the
a
passives don't
giant
quite have
size
modifiers.
difference,
They
but...
have what we call feet.
So I guess it's a little confusing how they're doing this. So it looks like you need so many points to unlock another modifier slot. So you add the points down. Well, this is blocking it, but there's a way to add points, I think, right here. So then I get 4 points. So now I have 2 modifier slots. And then available modifiers are down here. So I'm guessing maybe you unlock the modifiers or find the modifiers maybe. Or get them as you level. So then you place the modifier here. And if we had another available modifier, since we unlock, if we put 4, then we could put it here. So could you put 1, 2, 3, 4? Could you put all... Or do the modifiers take so many points? And then that's how many modifiers you can have. So you can have up to 5, but I think the different modifiers take a different amount of points. So say this next modifier takes 3, then you'd be up to 4. So, but you can have another modifier. And the next modifier takes, so I don't know, say it takes 4. So you'd be 1, 2, 3 here. But that says 13. I don't know. Not 100% sure how that works. But if they can get this to kind of balance out and work really well with itself, I think they're onto something here. I wish I could get my hands on the game and kind of play a little bit, but we're not going to happen anytime soon. All right, where were we here?
What we call feats. And the way we have it set up now is that at level 3, you get 1 slot, and then at level 6, another slot. I just invested here so that we can get the ailment chance to synergize here with our application of chill from our regular weapon attack. We'll put that in, and that will be great overall. And then in Storm, we can diverge a little bit and get a little bit of energy, because when I spam my ice shards, I run out of energy.
Like,
not great.
I get it, but some of it's
I think,
lost in translation.
That we could answer that I have been seeing floating around the community is the question if masteries actually have an effect on the modifiers. Do masteries bring additional modifiers at all, at some one way or the other?
So we don't do cross mastery modifiers really, but we do these cross mastery effects. So for example, rage could be consumed by something in Storm in the future, or overwhelm. There's definitely examples for that. So you do have these natural synergies that are gonna go across, and you have modifiers injecting themselves into the global abilities at the moment, such as the dodge, such as the regular weapon attack.
Right, so I think the frost explosion, for example.
Okay. Moving on to the next.
Aren't I? Well, that is possible because of our attribute system. So our attributes are basically this 3-directional triangle that you're looking at, but it becomes 6-directional once you start combining these. We've got vigor in the middle as well, which impacts your health. But might, what that does, it basically unlocks your support for heavy armor as well as heavy weapons that you would expect from a warrior. Knowledge is more the main.
So right here, unlocks area and utility modifiers on abilities. Okay, so the more points I put into knowledge, then I'll start unlocking more of the modifiers that have to do with knowledge. So like a mage, the more I put into might, the more I unlock for like warrior abilities, so on and so forth, right? Agility is probably like a Amazon rogue archer type class, I'm assuming.
Mage stuff, like robes as well as staves. Agility is more like the deck stuff that you'd be used to from other RPG games, so daggers and stuff like that. But then we have things like fitness. Fitness looks at a combination. We have a formula for this, for might, vigor, and agility basically get combined into fitness. Depending on how you spread this out, might and agility contribute more than vigor. But what this does is strike damage and pierce damage gets increased by fitness, and then resolve, the combination of might, vigor, and knowledge, that will give you fire and cold damage. And we have a lot of that right now, as well as fitness. But because we are an ice warrior, we kind of want to, a storm warrior, we kind of want to go into resolve here to play into cold damage. That's what we have a lot of right now. So we could go more into might and support our heavy armor now and still be a mage in terms of damage, but have the option to swap to pure physical. Flexibility, choice, choice, choice. That's the motto here.
So if at some point we find a cool melee weapon, for example, we could switch out that staff, just for a melee weapon, and that would just work just like the staff in the build, right?
Mm-hmm. We will at some point definitely swap for something. We do want to.
Okay, so the attribute system I think is kind of cool. Depending on what you invest your stats in, depends on the type of character you're gonna build. I like that. And you could probably do like some sort of like hybrid builds, putting some points into agility, some points into knowledge, some points into might, or what have you.
The way, so we know like a sword on fire obviously is a little special, but it's not going to be a unique, unlike that one. There's a raging bull. We place this here on purpose with a very high chance to spawn, just so that we can show it off. And I'm just gonna make sure I don't have any extra points to spend, but I don't right now, so that's great. What the raging bull does is it makes your rage stacks essentially better, giving you more weapon damage for them. So with epic and legendary items, we'll be handcrafting the precise effects that the weapon will wield. It's not really randomized at this point, but depending on where you find them, they will have a different level to them, which is true of every item, by the way, but also for these unique items that we handcraft rather than the random affixes that you get from the other stuff. So why is that important? It's important because you will want to get loot that is close to your level. Basically ensure that you get to grow like that as a character, that you get to progress. And it will give you ways to change the difficulty of the world as well through rituals. You'll either be able to just increase them flat out in the entire world, or you'll be able to raise the minimum to your own level as well, which is going to be great to go back to older areas to farm there, find items that are specific to the Ichthyians, but eventually you'll be getting out of the area where the Ichthyians are. So one day you will not have access to the Ichthyian stuff, and that's why the big encounters are hard. Yes, so all these tougher, higher tier enemies working together using their abilities is definitely commanding some attention, and I'm talking at the same time now. Not the easiest thing.
So looking at that battle there, I know they were kind of talking about uniques, but that stuff's kind of not really neither here nor there. I really wanted to show this battle because, I mean, he was getting hit by those enemies and he was getting a hit. Like, he about died there. I think the difficulty is, at least it looks like it's pretty good so far from what I've seen. Obviously, that might change once I get hands-on and play it. But, I mean, there was a chance of death there, and he was, you know, kiting the enemies. He was looking out, making sure he wasn't getting hit by the enemy spells. So I think the difficulty, at least I'm seeing here that they're showing, looks to be kind of more on the hardcore side, I guess. It's kind of nice, a nice change of pace in the ARPG scene. All right, I'm pretty sure that was it for this one.
Maybe I can do some talking then.
Yes.
So as Baldur mentioned, this is actually a side quest here. So
okay, he's just going to talk about a side quest. Everybody knows side quests.
Now, we've also picked up this monster infrequent item, the Ichthian sword, which has built-in poison damage in the base damage already. So this is what we mean actually when it comes to... Whoops, let me just equip that. Yeah, you can visibly see that this is in fact a poison sword. It does poison damage. It's built into the base, not just through affixes, but affixes can also add.
I wonder if they're gonna keep that item label, infrequent item. I don't know, whenever I see green I just think set item for some reason, but this isn't Diablo. While we're kind of paused here, I do think the graphics and aesthetics look pretty dang good for this game.
Further to it. Also, in its innate properties, it has 4 cold and poison damage and gives you some poison resistance. So definitely a pretty decent monster infrequent. If I had 2 of them and if I had some cunning, I would probably be building this. But for now, I think our build is best for the Raging Bull. So that's how we'll continue.
At last, the horrible fishmen have had us penned in like sheep. Can you imagine?
We also want to add some character to our NPCs, of course. This is part of the puzzle, but what I'm doing ain't it. We gotta find out what it actually wants from us.
The voice acting seems pretty good. I heard just a brief moment of it there. There's not a whole lot of it in this gameplay, honestly. But from what I heard, voice acting was good. We'll wait and kind of see what else we see. I know there is a penalty for death. At least there's currently a penalty for death, and I think they said it was going to be an experience penalty, kind of the way it is in Diablo 2. I think this style of game, at least like I said, looks like it's going to be harder than some of the ARPGs that have recently released. Let's watch just kind of the end of this little puzzle he's going to figure out, and then...
Right, and since you mentioned monster infrequents, obviously we are aware of the Titan Quest 1 you loot what you can see what you can get what you see system. But yeah, that's something that we want to get in some form back, but currently we only do that by loot lists that are fitting to the enemy. We are looking throughout early access into ways to bring that back though.
I think I'm about to level up here. There we go. One more level up before the big encounter. So we were talking about how we're going to use ice shards. Let's do it. Projectile penetration, so it goes through multiple enemies. And I still have 2 more. We can put this back, actually. We can keep the long shot. All right, this is pretty nice. And then we could get even more energy and regeneration as well. Which, by the way, you can also see if you hover over this globe. We have 34 energy regen. That's a lot. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, as you can saw before, Barlet was lighting up the brazier up north. So this is 1, 2, 3 puzzle where you just need to click the increasing number of braziers.
Yeah, we're not gonna do brain-breaking puzzles, but we do want to reward your efforts for exploration and looking around caves and stuff like that.
That was another thing that I was happy to hear, is that they're going to reward you for exploration. Let's see if that kind of holds true once the game gets released, but I hope they stick with that and they do reward you. You know, it's not to be any like crazy rewards, but every once in a while, you know, have some like nice reward for exploring the world and finding some chest off in the middle of nowhere.
So it's
not about the last.
He's apparently
movement speed is what we call a leader.
Oh yeah, right here.
So what that means is he's the top echelon within the skeleton faction, and I just got frozen by these guys dealing cold damage. That's also attributed to the Frost Revenant, but that's not the only guy with the aura here. Actually, the Warlock has an aura and gives these guys life leeching damage. So definitely gotta take out the light guys first, then the support, and then go after the big man himself.
No, this isn't the big man.
Again, trying to dodge these individual abilities so that we don't get blasted into smithereens.
Oh no, yeah, this is it.
Might be easier to do with our ranged attacks. He's immune, by the way, to freezing and all that. That's why I didn't really
Nice.
use that here.
All right, that is that. That's the kind of points that I want to touch on and talk about. Check out this video if you want to go through the whole 40 minutes gameplay with dev commentary. I'm looking forward to Titan Quest 2. I hope they knock it out of the park. I hope they do it right by ARPG fans. Like I said, looks like it has potential. I'll probably pick it up. Don't know if I'll pick it up on release, but at some point I'll be playing this game. And let me know what you think down in the comments. Will you pick up Titan Quest 2? Will you wait for it to go on sale? Will you kind of wait and see what other people are saying about it? Maybe you're going to get a group of friends together and play it. But that is all I have for you. So have a good day or night wherever you're in the world. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Much love. And we will see you on the next one.